All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er videos. The Niners have added a cornerback. It's Eli Apple, the veteran, is the newest 49er. We'll talk about it in just a second. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. We're also brought to you by our good friends at Claw Daddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. We got brand new locations opening in Capitola Mall and Visalia Mall later on this year. Thanks to Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring the Krug Show, and the links are in the description for all of our sponsors. All right, when the Niners news breaks, you know I'm going to be all over it, and the Niners have signed Eli Apple. The veteran corner is your newest 49er. This is coming about because the 49ers are just a little thin on the corner. If you really look at it, they have Demo Lenore. He's a terrific player. They have Renardo Green, second-year corner, who's coming into his own. I think he's going to be one of the best in the game, and he's looked great. And then you have Upton Stout, but Renardo Green pulled his hamstring. Shanahan says he's probably not going to be back until the middle of August when the Niners take on the Raiders in that second preseason game. And those things have a tendency to linger. And, you know, the old coach used to say to me, you know, the key to pass coverage is pass coverage. In other words, there is no key to pass coverage. You have to have guys. That's why it's really important that the Niners, you know, take a look at, you know, all the inventory that's available at cornerback and that they not cut any good corners. So like today, I saw Derek Canteen and Jacob Robinson, two undrafted rookie corners in the Niners camp, and they both look good. And they had plays, both made plays on the ball. Don't cut those guys. Don't cut those guys, because when you run out of guys who can play corner and play man-to-man, you're done. You got to have guys who can cover, especially in a passing league. So let's talk a little bit about Eli Apple, a 6'1", 200-pound corner. Always is thought to be a guy with, you know, good size, good speed, good arm length. Philly kid, grew up in Jersey. His mom's from Ghana. He took his stepfather is Tim Apple, so his original birth name he was Eli Woodard, but he switched it to Eli Apple to take on Tim Apple's name, his stepfather. And he grew up in New Jersey and was a really good prospect on the corner, and got recruited to Ohio State by Urban Meyer, and chose the Buckeyes over a bunch of different options. I mean, he really could have gone anywhere he wanted to go. 2-year starter with the Buckeyes, and then jumped to the NFL draft. And the New York Giants took him with the 10th pick overall in the first round. Kind of a controversial pick. But you know what? Ohio State corners oftentimes play at a really high level, and I'm sure that's what the Giants were thinking. 6'1", 200 pounds. He had 4.4 speed and a really fast 10-yard split. So I'm sure they thought, hey, we're getting the total package. He had 13 reps at 225, so that's a pretty good number for corner. Highly recruited out of high school, so he was a blue chip high school athlete. And he had a short career, 2-year career at Ohio State, playing for Urban Meyer. But he did clinch the national championship at Ohio State against Oregon with an interception of Marcus Mariota. So Eli Apple was a hell of a player. He's at Ohio State. He gets drafted in the first round by the Giants. Good size, good arm length. He had 22 passes defensed in his 2 years at Ohio State. So he was a real good player there. Good work ethic, tremendous feet, can mirror receivers up and down the field. And it just hasn't worked out almost anywhere. He's been around the league. He spent 3 years with the New York Giants. Then he spent 2 years with the New Orleans Saints, 1 year in Carolina. He spent 2 years in Cincinnati with the Bengals. And then 2 years ago, he was with the Dolphins in Miami. And then last year, he played for the Chargers, and he only wound up playing 4 games for the Chargers. So I'll say this. He's a 9-year vet. He's 29. He's played in 102 NFL games. He's had 82 starts. Now, the Niners have a really young secondary, very young secondary. And, you know, as I said, if you run out of DBs, you're done. Especially corners. You can sometimes make do at safety, but it's really difficult to make do at corner. If you run out of guys, you run out of guys. So let's talk about what the Niners have. They have right now, Demo is, I think, one of the best slot corners in football, but he's playing outside right now. They moved him outside. You have Renardo Green opposite him, and then the Niners drafted out of Western Kentucky Upton Stout in the 3rd round. And despite the fact he's only 5'8", they really like him. They're going to play him in the slot. So those are likely your 3 starting corners. So really the rest of the guys are competing for corner 4, 5, and 6. But if you lose one of your top 3 corners, as the Niners have just recently, losing Renardo Green, now the whole thing kind of falls apart. So, the Niners have some good defensive coaches. Obviously Robert Saleh's a terrific coach. Gus Bradley's a really good coach. Easy, Penny. Come here, Penny. Penny's losing it right now. She's absolutely losing it. The golden retriever is losing it. She doesn't like it when I do videos in the middle of the day. So anyway, she's here. But the Niners have some really good, defensive backfield coaches and guys who have a lot of experience putting together defensive backfields. Gus Bradley is a fantastic coach of defensive backfield play. So I trust him absolutely to make the right call and to, if he feels like they need talent, they probably need talent. Now, Saron Neal made an interception to end practice. They've guaranteed him $2.25 million. He's a really good special teamer, but he's not the greatest from scrimmage. Doesn't have fantastic speed. We're talking about a guy who has like 4.5, 4.6 speed. So Saron Neal might be great for Boyer's special team unit, but I don't know what he's going to give the 49ers defense. So there's that. Then you've got Jacob Robinson. He's a little undersized, but he's really, really talented. He's got 4.36 speed. You got Trey Brown, who they've guaranteed $500,000 to. He's a veteran corner, but today, for example, the receiver ran right by him, and he kind of grabbed the jersey, and that that's the call that doesn't get called in training camp, but that gets called every time in games. So, the Niners have some questions as to who's going to be. First of all, if Green is hurt for any length of time, they've got a question at corner with him. He's your starting corner on the outside. But even if if he's ready to roll, you're still looking at Upton Stout, most likely a rookie, as your 3rd best corner. And most teams in the NFL need 6. You need 6 good corners. 5 or 6, but to me, I like what I've seen out of Luter, and I think he can help in this mix. But the 49ers, they haven't even gotten into the pads yet. They haven't even put on pads, and they're already looking for kind of reinforcements on the perimeter. So I think, you may see them sign a number of corners before the season's done. But Eli Apple does have NFL size. He has NFL speed. He's got experience. This isn't his first rodeo. I don't know if he's lost some speed. He was a 4.4 guy coming out of Ohio State once upon a time. He'll at least give them an experienced corner who, has seen it, been there and done that. But this is an area to watch because Renardo Green, Upton Stout, and Demo Lenore, I think are 3 decent corners. But cornerback 4, cornerback 5, cornerback 6, I think Luter's going to be one of those guys, but, and maybe Jacob Robinson. But I would say that this is a concern. To me, you can never have enough quality corners. You can never have enough quality edge rushers. And so the Niners pick up Eli Apple. Leave your comments in the section below. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corners, Sports Cards, and Collectibles, and Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.